Las Vegas runs on expectation, the belief that you're going to walk in and come out ahead, and for a moment it feels like you might. That this is the trip, the one that finally works. The thing about Vegas is one of the biggest collections of old master impressionists lives here. I think it does. Steve Wynn had a huge collection of Monet and other French Impressionist masters, and there used to be a gallery over in Bellagio dedicated to Steve's collection. I don't know if it's still there. We need to check that out. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. We need to find out what happened to his collection because it was well worth the visit. There was an admission charge, but the collection was very impressive. If you get to Vegas, or if you plan on coming to Vegas, let's see if it's still around. Cartoon cell art. This booth is all about cartoon cell art. There was a time when they would sell the original cartoon cells and people were collecting them. Mickey, Peter Pan, Mickey again, Donald. Now originally what started to sell was someone started to sell the actual cell by cell. They made an animation cell by cell. There was no computer assisted graphics in those days. The artist had to draw each scene cell by cell by cell, and there would be hundreds of these cells with slight movement for the characters. That's how they made the animation, by quickly photographing through the cells. Then someone had the bright idea of selling those cells off as original art, and that happened, and they became quite collectible, and some of them quite expensive. These, however, are not original production cells. These are all reproductions of the original cells. Because it says right there, serigraph. Limited edition serigraph. What it's worth, I don't know. But there's a market, there's a trend for this. It's not what I'm looking for. Think we found it this time? Couple old drawings. Ballerinas by Edgar Degas. That'd be a great find if they were real. They're just a couple of black and white prints. I like Degas though, it'd be a nice buy. 75 bucks for the set of two, hang him up. If he's your favorite artist, and he's one of mine, it's as close as you're going to get to a Degas. But not what I'm looking for. Back in the day when I was a framer, we would make things like this, you know, a couple of mats and multiple openings like this, and round opening there, all done on a machine mat cutter that was programmable. And you could produce these on the machine mat cutter in volume. And people would bring in a bunch of mementos, you know, they might have a family portrait here and someone's graduation certificate over here, maybe a swim team medal, that kind of thing, a collage. Quite popular, that's $450, but this is production made now. Those are mass produced in a factory somewhere. And I think locally, this isn't Japanese or Chinese. $450, 20% off. Nice if you're in the military, I think. But I don't know if we're going to find a masterpiece here, Rain. Matter of fact, I haven't seen an original painting until right now. And it's by Gervais, or Gervais if he's related to Ricky. It's an oil on black velvet, and it's $1,000. Oh, and it says it's the original frame from the 1950s. I have no doubt about that. But this was a thing. This was a thing in the 50s. Somebody came along with the idea of painting directly on black velvet, and typically it was a nude like this one. but not what I'm after. Okay. Well, you know, that's a workmanlike piece of art by Dawson. Don't know who Per Dawson is, but it's pretty well done. It says, at least they're honest about it, it says Remington knockoff. So they're not claiming it to be a Remington, but it's pretty good for $150. Not a bad buy. I expect to see a lot more Western art, being this is Nevada. Looks like there's an old 18th century painting here. And this is a painting. But there's a pretty good example of something being old, but not particularly good.
Why isn't it good?
Is there anything in that subject that you find compelling to look at? Or is it just another landscape? It's got two trees stuck in the middle there. Frame's old. But as a dealer, if I bought that piece, I'd be sitting on it forever. I just know from experience. This is interesting. Obviously, Michael, the archangel, and his head on Satan, or Lucifer, or Beelzebub as you prefer. Another one of Michael, $589. This one is $2,800. And look at this one, Lady Justice. This is magnificent. Right here. And this is $2,995. It's really, really well done. But here's the thing about this with bronze. Now, if I just take something metal, like a key, and I tap the bronze, it should ring. Notice it's not ringing. So this isn't bronze. This isn't cast bronze. And that's why it's $2,995. If that was cast bronze, it would easily be worth 10 times the price that they've got set here. Why is it so cheap? Because it's what they call bonded bronze. They use bronze powder and they mix it with resin. And they take that resin in a liquid form and they pour it into a mold. And that mold is made precisely in the negative shape of this particular sculpture. And those, all of those, and Michael, they're all made from bonded bronze. And that's why the price is so much less than a bronze sculpture would ever be. Very nice. And if you like bronze sculpture, but can't afford it, the next best thing. I think they're extremely well done. Dalí. That one, $1,200. $575 by Rembrandt. Another Rembrandt. That has to be, I thought it was Dalí, but I'm not sure. The lithograph. I'm not going to buy any of this, and I'll explain to you why. Same names: Picasso, Dalí, Renoir. Only this time the prices don't make any sense. In one place, thousands of dollars. Here, a fraction of that. Same names, similar images, completely different numbers. Are these the same things? In the print world, nothing is simple. Different plates, different editions, different hands involved. Some pulled from original matrices, others not. And unless you know exactly what you're looking at, they can look identical. They're not. Well, Charlie, we didn't find anything in there. Looking for historical paintings, not much there original, in terms of original art. No historical paintings, were there, Charlie? Some interesting things, though. And at places like this, you never know. Next week, there could be that hidden masterpiece we've been looking for. But it's not for us today. What do you think? It says, happy hunting, happy hunting. We came here looking for a hidden masterpiece. Something overlooked, something undervalued. Something we could walk away with. We didn't find it. And in that way, we left just like everyone else. Empty-handed, but maybe a little wiser about why. If you've been seeing this book and wondering who it's from, my name is John Sumner. I've spent a long time in the art world as a dealer, an appraiser, and as a working artist. I wrote a no-nonsense guide to buying art because I've seen how confusing and intimidating buying art can feel, even for people who genuinely love it. This book isn't about trends, and it's not about telling you what to buy. It's about learning how to look at art with a bit more confidence and trusting your own taste instead of second-guessing yourself. If that sounds helpful, you'll find the book in the link below. And if it's not for you, that's completely fine too.